Good afternoon, everybody. I am Richard Horn, as you know, and I'm a card-carrying magician, which means that I'm a conjurer, a liar, a cheat, and a charlatan. But before you kick me off the island, I'd like to share with you how the brain lies to the mind, and how this form of deceit can be used to create magic. Let's start with a demonstration. I'd like you all to hold your hands up like this, palms facing each other, thumbs up, okay? Give yourselves a little clap. Well done. All right, now turn your thumbs down and raise this arm. Actually, some of you are raising your right arm, some of you are raising your left arm. Raise your right arm. Cross it over the left. Interlace your fingers. Excellent. Now your right thumb should be on the outside of your left thumb. That's important. Yours is the other way around, so swap around. All right. Now, if you did this correctly, you should be able to do this. Try it. Impossible, you say. That's magic. Magic is created when something impossible happens. Now, unlike most magicians, I got started rather late in life doing magic, in my 60s. But I've held a deck of cards in my hands almost constantly since I was a teenager. Back then, I used to play card games like poker and bridge. Then I had a one-year affair with card counting and blackjack in casinos. And then for the past 8 years or so, I've been doing card magic and performing. And so that's how I got interested in it. And actually how I really got interested is watching performers, great performers. For example, the Dutch magician Tommy Wonder.
Yeah, that was just a little thing I learned from my mother. And sorry, it's
Time to go?
no, it's time for my hobby. You don't mind I do my hobby now, continue the magic later? Okay. Just make it. Janelle, I would like you to point to a card when I say so. Not before, not after. It's a couple more seconds. I'll tell you when. Point to a card now. Exactly. Thank you. That's good. No, I mean, really, perfectly on time. No, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's, no, maybe I explain, it's my hobby. I collect playing cards, which are chosen exactly at this time, so I had to put this in the show. No, it's true. I have quite a collection. These cards are chosen by different people, different places in the world, and you notice it's always the 4 of clubs. Always at this time. Yeah, it's always I don't know why people always choose 4 of clubs, but I think there is some scientific reason for it. I don't know, but anyway, it's not so important.
It's her birthday, not
Is that the thing? Could very well be, yeah.
She wanted a prince.
Yeah. But birthday or not, it's the wrong card. No, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, not even remotely does it look like it. I mean, it's totally different. Okay, the back is fine, but I don't know. Do you mind if I change your card to a 4 of clubs? I can put it in the collection, okay?
I don't mind.
Okay. It's very simple to change a card because you just put another 4 of clubs on top and you rub. If you watch carefully, it starts to imitate the 4 of clubs and it becomes a 4. Now you see, normally they do change. Oh. You know what? I'll do it differently. I'll just change the collection. Mind you, it's a lot more work for me, but you see, you got a jack of diamonds, so I make jack of diamonds, you know? Now, have a look at the cards. Have a look at the cards. Is there anything wrong with them? No double layer, special things or anything? No.
But they're not 4 clubs anymore.
No, that's true. Because if you change, you know, it's not heat either. It just change. Now look here. Rub the card. Does anything go off? Nothing goes off. No. But you rub like this, it changes. No, wait. The last one. Look, it's really.
That's crazy.
This is the same thing, huh? Yeah. All of the designers.
Like playing cards isn't necessarily magic. Card manipulation for its own sake is known as cardistry. And I'm going to show you a little video of a real expert at cardistry. He calls himself Predator. Card manipulation, which is a good thing because it means it can be learned and mastered with enough practice. Now, around the time that I was picking up magic, I was practicing a lot. I was practicing music. I played the piano. So it was relatively straightforward for me to just include some magic in my normal rehearsal schedule. And the good news is that it worked. After a couple of years of diligent practice, I became quite good at card manipulation. So much so that I won first place in a close-up magic contest. This was put on by the International Brotherhood of Magicians in 2011. That's their Phoenix Award. I was also at the time making videos of myself that helped me to practice. Here's a short video. It's going to show me producing the 4 aces from a mixed-up deck of cards.
There the cards are, and what we need are aces. So let's see if we can find the aces. There they are.
That was the good news. The bad news is that around the same time, I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And as you can imagine, that was quite devastating for me. As I began to lose coordination, I saw all of the beauty of magic and music being taken from me. But around the same time as I was struggling to comprehend what was happening to me, I discovered some inspiring stories from magicians who had to overcome other health obstacles. For example, Richard Turner. At the age of 9, he got scarlet fever, and it left him blind after a couple of years. Nevertheless, he kept practicing, and he's now one of the best card handlers on the planet. Another of my heroes is the British magician Wayne Dobson. At the age of 29, he got multiple sclerosis. He still performs magic, but he does it from a wheelchair. I learned from men like these, and from others, that poetry and artistry drive magic, not fast hands. I learned that magic comes from inside you, not from technical skills. Because whether you have Parkinson's disease, or multiple sclerosis, or arthritis, or just getting older, your hands will be taken from you eventually. The challenge for me was to find ways to create beautiful magic without depending heavily on sleight of hand, and to create beautiful music without needing super fast technique. We're going to come back to music a little bit later. Right? For now, I'd like to talk about magic and how the brain processes information. Consciousness is a product of evolution, of course. The French poet Paul Valéry put it this way. He said, the task of the mind is to produce future. The better you can predict what's coming, the greater your ability to survive and make your unique contributions to the gene pool. Minds, in essence, create coherent narratives that not only help us survive, but also open the door for magicians to create miracles. Let's look at some of the properties of the mind that can be exploited by magicians. Boredom. Minds get bored quite easily and will tune out until something novel occurs. That's when the magician steps in and does his mischief. I'll give you an example. If I pass this little ball back and forth between my hands, you'll get bored rather quickly. And then if I wave my hand over it, it will vanish. Actually, it just jumped back into my pocket, where it came from. Consciousness has been likened to a play in a theater. Whatever's on your mind occupies center stage by itself. It's very difficult to concentrate on more than one thing at a time. I'm going to give you an example of that. And I need your help for this. What I'd like you to do is try to count as accurately as possible and as silently as possible.
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the ball. The correct answer is 16 passes. Did you spot the gorilla? For people who haven't seen or heard about a video like this before, about half miss the gorilla. If you knew about the gorilla, you probably saw it, but did you notice the curtain changing color or the player on the black team leaving the game? Let's rewind and watch it again. Here comes the gorilla, and there goes a player, and the curtain is changing from red to gold. When you're looking for a gorilla, you often miss other unexpected events.
Perhaps the best known tool of a magician is misdirection. Misdirection is rampant in nature because there's an enormous selection pressure for being able to mislead. There are many examples of misdirection in both animal and plant kingdoms. I'm going to show you my favorite, the alligator snapping turtle. This is the largest freshwater turtle in the world. It weighs up to 400 pounds. It has immensely powerful jaws. And it lives in the southeast of the United States in ponds and streams. And it eats fish. Now this beast uses two forms of misdirection. First is just its appearance. To an unsuspecting fish, it looks like an algae-covered rock. The other form of misdirection is on top of its tongue. Right on the surface of the tongue, there's a little pink object. It's called the vermiform appendage. It looks like a worm, and it wiggles. So, of course, it attracts fish that become the next meal of the turtle. Now, magicians use misdirection to get their audiences to focus on the wrong thing. Here's an example of a world-famous magician using misdirection. see what's happening here? In case it's not obvious, the duck is the magician. Now, magicians have to be able to capture the attention of their audiences. And there are many ways to do that. A loud sound will do it. Loud speech will also do that. A rapid movement, a change in the gaze of the magician. All of these attention grabbers are used by magicians for misdirection. Now, there's a bit of a problem using these if you're a Parkinson's patient, because Parkinson's disease suppresses loud speech and rapid movement. So if I want to use any of these techniques, and I do, I have to exaggerate them to make them effective. Disorder. Minds hate disorder. So if a magician creates a mess and then magically cleans it up, that's usually quite satisfying. I call that creating order out of chaos. Perhaps the best proponent of that in the world is a Swedish magician named Leonard Green.
I work with a special method to do it quick. I work with precision, control, and a very powerful memory system, right? So, if I have studied the poker, I like to gamble. Officially, I don't gamble, but so if we have a 5-person, and I will do a 5-handed poker game. Now I will interact, so different person all the time, so not the same person can answer, so we have an agreement. Which one shall have a good poker hand? Which number, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? 3, good. And here, I had a mat here to make it a little. The critical moment is, if a card shark gather the card together, immediately when before he deal the card, now. So I think number 3, I have arranged them in a full house. Well, with queens and, it's okay. Yeah. Queens and 10s. That's a challenge, I like this. I will explain later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I start with 3 queens. So here you see the contrast when I treat the cards. And 2 10s. Yeah. Thank you. Great. But also the other hand, it's good if all the other guys has good hands too. So this guy has actually a stronger hand. 3 aces and 2 kings. This guy beats them with 2 4 of a kind of twos. No reaction? That was even... Okay. And this look in order, hopefully. Yeah. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But of course, I will have the winning hand. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. Yeah. So,
Finally, this is a strategy that I call passing the buck. It's pretty simple. The idea is that I don't have to do the manipulation of props myself. I can get a spectator to do it for me. I'm going to give you some examples of that in a moment. But what I haven't told you is that shortly after the diagnosis that I have of Parkinson's, my magic improved rather dramatically. And I didn't understand it at first, but I do now. Before the diagnosis, I was so enamored with flashy card technique that I failed to connect personally with my audiences. Now, perhaps I would have learned that anyway with enough time, but the diagnosis sped up that process. So, let's do some magic together. And I'm going to use a deck of cards. Now, people often ask me, they say, Richard, you know your way around a deck of cards. Is there anything that you know that can be used for gambling? And the answer is, yeah, of course. Why not? Look, I've been barred from more casinos than you can imagine. And I'm going to show you why. First of all, no one will play poker with me. That goes without saying. Sir, would you help me out? Take a look at these cards. Pretty mixed up, would you say?
Yes.
Think that is? Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll mix them up some more. And I'd like you to pick a card. All right, and show that around the room. I won't look. Okay?
Yes.
The card that you're holding is it's a red card.
Yes.
The 8 of hearts.
Very good.
All right. Very good. Let's try someone else. How about you, sir? Would you help me? Go ahead. Grab one. Got it? Okay. Again, show it around. Okay? It's a black card. 4 of spades. Okay. All right, let's make this a little bit more challenging. Let's grab a clump of cards, 3, 4 cards, something like that. All right, excellent. And mix them up. And you can hand me the 7 of hearts. And you can hand me the Queen of Hearts. And the 5 of diamonds. You don't have a 5 of diamonds? You do. You're trying to bust the magician. That's a good thing to do. Okay, now you can see why that would be useful for playing poker. But I got barred in casinos for playing blackjack, not poker.
Counting cards?
Counting cards, that's right. Exactly right. So the problem with blackjack is that ordinarily the cards are buried. They're not visible until the dealer turns them face up. Sir, would you join me?
Me?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm a big skeptic, but I'm also
You're a big skeptic.
amazed that you can do these tricks.
All right. What's your name?
Alan.
Alan. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for volunteering.
Okay.
All
Big thinking about
right. What I'm going to ask you to do is give the cards a cut and complete the cut. Excellent. I tell you what, go ahead and do it again. Give them a cut, complete the cut. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to take the top card. Don't do anything with it yet. Don't look at it, but put it into your right pocket. And take the next card and put it into your left pocket. Don't look at it. Yeah. You got a back pocket as well?
Yes, two.
Oh, put it into the next card into one of your back pockets. And we will put these cards away, out of sight, out of mind. Now that's more similar to the situation in blackjack, because you haven't seen the cards, nobody's seen the cards at all. I'm going to try to figure out what they are. Right in that pocket, right there, is a King of Hearts. Show that to everybody. It was in his pocket. All right? In your left pocket. You sure you didn't look at that one? But it's a red card. It's the 4 of diamonds.
On my left pocket.
That one right there.
Correct.
4 of diamonds. And let's see what else you've got. Now, in your back pocket, do you have a black card or a red card? What do you think? No. You say what?
Red.
It was red. And you know what it is?
Yeah.
They don't know what it is.
No.
Tell them.
10 of diamonds.
Okay, show it to them. 10 of diamonds. Excellent. Thank you very much. Now, what you just saw was an example of what's called mentalism. It has something to do with psychic powers. Here's a psychic power, which I think you'll all be familiar with. It's mental telepathy. And for this, I'm going to use a book. And this side of the room has been neglected up till now. So would you do me a favor and just take a look at that book? Make sure that it looks kind of ordinary. It's got, all the pages are different from one another. Okay, excellent. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the cards like this. And what I'd like you to do is say stop whenever you like. Right there, all right. Take a look at the top word on the first word on top of this page, okay? Does this begin with the word with the letter E?
Yes.
East.
Yeah.
East. Okay. Excellent. You look skeptical. Why don't you try this? Right there?
Yes.
All right. You see the word on the top of that page? The first letter of that word is F. Second, A. Pulse.
Yes.
All right. Let's do something a little bit more difficult. Imagine that you have just installed some software on your computer, and they ask you for a password. Okay? When you choose a password, you want to think of one that you will be able to remember. And one of the common things that people do is name a friend or a lover or a child, which is great. You will remember that password. But it's not so good if you want to be protected, because somebody can find out your acquaintances and could hack into your account. Much better to pick a word completely at random. So, let's try that. We're going to do this completely at random. Would you help us? This book contains roughly 65,000 words. And what I'd like you to do is open the book up in any place you like, open to any page, and look at any word on that page. And it should be a word that's at least 7 letters, just for the password. So you've got a word that you're seeing, and think of the first letter. What is the first letter? J. And think of the second letter. Second letter is A, right? J-A. Actually, think of the whole word. All right? You were thinking of it, right? I'm getting an idea here. All right. What was it? What's the word? Jackhammer. There it is. Not so legible. My hands shake. But that's jackhammer. I'm going to pass the magic wand on to a special guest. She's always wanted to be a magician. And she asked me if she could come up and do a trick. And I said, do you know one? And she said, no. Would you teach me one and then I could be the star of the show? And I said, no. But she was persistent, and persistence pays off. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm round of applause to Michelle. Thank you for volunteering. What are you going to do for us today?
Smile.
Smile? That's good. That's a good start. You know what? I don't think that they're taking this seriously. I think we should tell them the truth. The truth is that Michelle and I got together early this morning, and I taught her a trick. And I think that all of you, even you, will think that this is one of the best tricks you've ever seen. And I think that if you do a good job, you'll get a standing ovation. But you have to earn it. Okay? So let's do this just the way we practice, all right? Places, everyone. And on the count of 3, we'll begin. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Michelle, I haven't seen you in ages. How have you been?
You?
Oh, I've been fine. Hey, remember that invention I was working on?
No.
Well, I finished it.
Wow. Good for you.
And I brought it with me. Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Can I show your friends?
Sure.
Are these your friends?
No, but they will be.
They will be. Okay. Oh, here it is. What do you think of that? Be honest.
It looks inventive.
It looks inventive? It certainly is inventive. This is, I know this sounds crazy, but this is the world's first invisible deck of cards. And as crazy as it sounds, you're going to be amazed at what Michelle will be able to do with this deck. So first of all, shuffle them up for me, okay? And then you might want to take them out of the box first. I'm sorry. And hand them to your daughter over here. At the box.
The whole deck?
No, just hand the box to her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then shuffle them up. She's got a nice technique, huh? Spent a lot of time in casinos, right? No, okay. I tell you what. Why don't you take that deck and walk up to anyone in the room here, and in your best magician's voice, tell them to pick a card.
Can I spin them around?
Yeah, shuffle while you're walking. Oh, nice. Did you get a card? What's your name?
Margaret.
Margaret. Okay, you got a card, Margaret, huh? I don't like that card. Put it back in the deck. Take out another one, something more obscure. Not a joker, not an ace of spades or anything like that. You got another one? All right, show that around to everyone. I won't look. All right, and I tell you what, Margaret, turn it face up and put it back into the deck. So now there is one upside down card in this deck, one face up card in a face down deck. And you remember what that card is. That's really important, okay?
I had a little trouble.
You're having a little trouble with memory, huh? But you got it now, right? Burn it into your memory. All right, come on back. Get the box. And put the cards back in the box. And toss the box over to me. Thank you very much. What do you think? Did she do a good job? But, wait, no, you're not done yet. Because we don't know whether the trick worked yet. You know, what we do know is that Margaret picked a card, and she turned it upside down and put it back in the deck. But we don't know whether that card is the same card as the one that's upside down in this deck. But if it is the same card, then I think you do deserve an even bigger round of applause. Are you with me on that? Yeah. All right. Margaret, now you can say what it is. What's the name of the card that you saw? All right, she said the King of Diamonds. So wait a minute, there's a little bit of a problem here. I think we got a problem. You said, what did you say?
2 spades.
2 of spades. I don't think you understand how this game is played, do you? All right, well, let's see what we got here. 2 of spades. Well, this is a face-down deck, that's for sure. And there is, out the middle of it, a 2 of spades. Now, this is the only face-up card in the deck. It's also the only card in the deck that has a red back. Standing ovation. Percussion. All right, let's do some music for a while. I've been playing music much longer than I have been doing magic. I started playing the piano when I was 7 years old. And at the height of my career, I mean, there was a long period of my life when I was making my living playing as a musician. And I was practicing up to 14 hours a day, a lot of practice. And little did I know at the time that there would be real benefits of that heavy-duty practice later in life. Because I think that although my handwriting is almost illegible, I can play the piano pretty well. And I think that I practiced so much that I hardwired some of the neurons in my brain to be able to do music and be relatively insensitive to the ravages of Parkinson's disease. So I'm going to play for you a couple of pieces. One of them, this first one, is a piece that I wrote long before my Parkinson's diagnosis. This is the name of a dog that I had, a husky. His name was Rasputin's Colossal Conehead. This is his song. By Rodrigo. It's a guitar piece. It was modified by a pianist named Chick Corea, and he called this piece Spain. And this is my version of Chick Corea's version of Rodrigo's version. That's going to be a personal journey for each one of you. What I will share with you is some of the strategies that have been helpful for me over the last while, especially with regard to Parkinson's disease. But first I want to bring up this particular topic of neuroprotection. Every day you are losing brain cells. That's the case whether you have any kind of disease, neurodegenerative disease or not. But when you have a neurodegenerative disease, the rate at which you lose nerve cells increases. So cells are dying at a rapid rate. Strategies and treatments that slow that process are called neuroprotective. That's the gold standard if you want to have a treatment that works well for a neurodegenerative disease, is if it somehow stops the loss of nerve cells. Now, why do nerve cells die? The reason they die, this is one of the reasons, is that they're hyperactive. Nerve cells generate a lot of energy, they create electrical currents, and if they get overly activated, they become weak and are subject to dying or easily. So if anything that you can do that can reduce the activity of those nerve cells will be neuroprotective.
Such as what?
Pardon me?
Such as what?
Such as, I'm going to give you a long list of things that you can do that might potentially be neuroprotective. Oxidative stress is another one. They burn up, basically, and that's why one of the things that can help is antioxidants. And there are now clinical trials of a couple of different antioxidant drugs for treatment of Parkinson's disease, and it looks promising. All right, with this in mind, here are some suggestions from experts at this Neuroprotective Strategies. Exercise is number one on the list. For most types of neurodegenerative diseases, exercise really helps a lot. And it's been shown in Parkinson's disease specifically to be one of the best neuroprotective strategies that you can use. And when I say exercise, I'm talking about vigorous exercise. So push the limits that you can possibly do. Now, just a word of advice, though, is that there are some neurological disorders that get worse if you exercise. So this is something that you should discuss with your neurologist and with your physical therapist. So I mentioned here exercise. Physical therapy is actually wonderful. I think their guardian angel really guide you and help you to give you some motivation for doing more exercise. I do calisthenics regularly, and I just do that at home. Biking is something that a lot of people think that this is particularly good. If your balance is difficult, or if you're having problems with balance, you can always use a stationary bike, of course. Fast walking, and not strolling, real fast walking is particularly good. And speaking of exercise, rock steady boxing. This is something that's new for the last couple of years. It's you go into a gym, put on boxing gloves, and you pummel the hell out of a big bag, and you hit it hard, and it's like the complete opposite of Parkinson's disease. In Parkinson's disease, you curl up, you move slowly, you don't move smoothly at all. In boxing, you're really using every bit of energy you can possibly use, and it's pretty miraculous, at least the way it feels when you're taking a class of boxing. Rock steady boxing is a particular development specifically for Parkinson's patients. I'd go to a class like this in Philadelphia once a week, and it's something I look forward to, actually. Another kind of martial arts is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a non-contact form of Kung Fu. And I know that many of you know what Tai Chi is. You see people doing it outside on the lawns. It's a beautiful, graceful form of martial arts. What it's particularly good for is balance. Because many of the stances that are used require you to stand on one leg and move smoothly from one leg to the next.
Wouldn't yoga be better for balance? Yoga?
Yoga, I don't know whether it's better. I mean, for some reason, Tai Chi has been studied more than yoga. But I would think yoga would also help. And one of the aspects of Tai Chi, and a lot of the Tai Chi classes, they teach meditation as well. It's a Chinese form of meditation called Qigong. And all of the Tai Chi classes that I've ever taken, they always start out doing Qigong. And speaking of meditation, mindfulness meditation, that's the new version of today. Back in the late 60s and early 70s, I used to practice Zen Buddhism. I lived in Los Angeles at the time. This is very similar to Zen Buddhism. It's used by all kinds of people. It's used in treatment of neurological disorders, but it's also used. Football teams will get together and do mindfulness meditation. It seems to improve your function, whatever particular function you're talking about. Now, one of the nice things about mindfulness meditation in terms of treatment is that there are some real clinical data that show that actually changes in your brain in response to doing mindfulness meditation. So it's not just your imagination is what I'm saying. It's actually something that you can measure clinically. Challenge your mind. This, I think, is really important. One of the mistakes that people sometimes make about diseases that are neurodegenerative is that they're all just affecting your movement. Parkinson's disease is called a movement disorder, but there are a lot of cognitive changes that happen in your brain as well, and you should be paying attention to them. You can't just treat the body as a machine. So, challenge your mind. Lots of ways to do it. You can read books. You can play chess. You can memorize phone numbers instead of just entering them into your iPhone. You can use your mind instead of a calculator to when you're in the grocery store and you're trying to figure out whether you can afford something, whether the price of wild rice is too high for you. Well, use your mind to figure it out. Read books. Learn a new language. That's another way to do it. But actually make an effort to not be a couch potato. Engage people. Now this is something that I noticed early on, shortly after my diagnosis. I would be in a group of people, they would be talking, and I would just tune out. And I don't exactly know why I did that. I think maybe part of it is embarrassment, but because I didn't want people to see that I had disabilities. But that's something that you should really try to avoid. Really listen to the people that you're with, and really engage with them. And that also is that's mind challenging as well. Nurture close relationships. By this I mean people like very good friends and family. Create a social network that not only will be good for you, but will be good for them. So, because you're going to be playing an active role in this social network. Playing with your inner child. This is a lovely little sentence by an author named Sartre. Joy is one of the greatest gifts of being alive. Don't squander it. Find ways to make yourself laugh and get others to laugh with you. Hobbies. I guess you could say that music and magic for me are hobbies. Although I do them semi-professionally. I have another hobby, which I don't get paid for ever, and that is that I do woodworking. I build furniture. So those are the three, I think, most passionate activities in my life, other than the time that I spend with my bride, sitting back here. So hobbies give you motivation. That's one of the nice. So instead of sitting and watching TV, you're actually out there doing something, and that keeps you in better shape. Is it neuroprotective? I guarantee it's neuroprotective. Create beauty. There are many ways to increase the total amount of beauty in the universe. You should just look around and see what you can find. I've given you some examples of things that have worked for me, but you have to find your own ways of creating beauty. How about cooking a nourishing meal for a friend, or making a nice painting? Help a blind person across the street, do volunteer work. I do volunteer work. That's something that gives me a lot of pleasure. I do magic in hospitals. And I also do magic in hospice facilities, and that really helps me a lot. So now it's your turn. Go out there and thrive, all right? Thank you all very much.